Do you find yourself wanting to make a beautiful card, but you just don't have a lot of time to make it? Do you believe you can't make beautiful cards without fancy tools and a pile of products? Well, today I'm going to show you how to make a clean and simple color and contour card idea. One that is stunning to make, and all you need is a stamp set, ink, and paper. I would love to show you how. Hey everyone, I'm Terri from nutsaboutsstamping.com. I love sharing techniques and project ideas for rubber stamping, paper crafting, and scrapbooking with you each week. Be sure to hit that red subscribe button and the bell beside it so that you'll be the first to be notified when my next video goes live. Be sure to watch all the way through my video for my bonus tips and design ideas. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator yet, I would love for you to choose me. I'll link to my online stores in the description box underneath this video. Now let's get started. Let's start off by having a quick look at the color and contour stamp set. The open line floral art and abstract fillers in the color and contour stamp set allow for a range of coloring techniques. You can freehand watercolor for a modern look, or you can use ink and some sponge daubers on the filler stamps to create an ombre floral effect. I'm going to show you a way to layer these stamps in a simple and easy way. I love this set because you have 13 stamps in it and you have images and phrases. So that means you can use it as your sort of one-stop shop for card making. All you need to make this card at home is some basic white cardstock, and that's what I'm going to use for my card base. So I've got this ready to go. I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of grid paper because I'm going to be stamping off the edges of this card base, and I don't want to get ink on the pad of grid paper that I have underneath. I always keep these sort of scrap pieces lying around specifically for this purpose. So as I stated in my introduction, I'm just going to use the color and contour stamp set and some ink. So I'm going to start off with polished pink, and I have one of the larger flower images from the stamp set. So this is the line art and this is the filler, and I'm going to use the same color for both. I'm going to start off by just using the line art stamp and stamping it several times on my card front. Like so. And then I'm going to come in with the filler. Now, the thing that you need to know about this particular stamp is that it is not designed to perfectly line up with the line art image. You just kind of let it go and stamp down, and whatever you get is what you get, and it's going to look pretty. Okay, so I've got that done. Now I'm going to clean both of these, come back, and we're going to add a second color using the same stamps. My second color I'm going to use is Fresh Freesia. It's a little bit lighter, and it blends beautifully with the polished pink color as well. So I am going to stamp this one 4 times, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use the filler, and I'm not going to worry about perfect placement. I'm just going to go for it. Okay. So I've got these beautiful flowers, and you can see that I'm layering, and it works out just fine. Now the next thing I want to do is use my Parakeet Party ink, and I have this sort of line art leaf image, and I'm going to do 2 things with it. I am going to stamp it once, and then I'm going to stamp it a second time. So that is a generation technique, and I'm just going to do the same thing on some of the white space And maybe I'll do one more here. The beautiful part about these clean and simple cards is that you can design it as you go, and you'll be really happy with what it turns out looking like. So here's how it's looking so far. Today's video was inspired by a thank you card that I received in the mail this week. I helped another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator learn how to edit videos so that she could launch her YouTube channel. And she was so kind to send me a thank you card for my help. So I'll show you the card that she sent me later on in this video so that you can see the original idea. And I hope that you'll be inspired to make your own version too. So I'll show you her card, I'll show you my card, and then you can try this idea at home using your own artistic talents. I'll also link to Serena's YouTube video in the description box underneath this video so that you can hop on over to her YouTube channel and share some love with her. She's really talented. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is bring in this little flower image, and I'm going to use Tahitian Tide as the color for this flower. And I'm just going to ink it and stamp it. Maybe like that. Yeah, I think that's quite nice. Now, there is a filler stamp that goes along with this. So I'm going to clean this stamp and then put the other one on because I only have one little tiny block that is perfect for this size of stamp. Okay, I've got the filler mounted and I'm going to ink it up. And again, I'm not going to be really particular about this. I'm just going to let it go. Looking nice so far. And I have one more stamp I want to use, and that is this kind of splatter stamp. I guess that's what it's called. It's a bunch of little dots. And I'm going to use Starry Sky. And what I'm going to do is splatter all over on top. I'm going to stamp off and stamp on, because this Starry Sky is a really dark color, and I'm not quite sure I want the full-on effect of it. Maybe I'll do one more over here, like so. Okay, it's coming together really nice. I'm really pleased with how it's looking. Now let's talk about a phrase. So I have selected the stamp from the Color and Contour stamp set that says, "You're absolutely amazing." I love this phrase and I use it a lot. Well, I'm going to show you a unique way to use it on this card. So I have a scrap piece of basic white. So all I've used for my card is basic white, which is how it keeps it clean and simple. And I'm going to take my Starry Sky ink, and I'm going to ink up the phrase, and I'm going to stamp it down onto this scrap. Now, rather than just adhere this down onto my card, which would be fine, we're going to do something fun with it. What I'm going to do is take my paper snips, and I am going to cut around the phrase. Instead of leaving it as a rectangle, I'm going to let the phrase determine the shape of the image that I'm going to attach to my card front. So I'm going to stop the video, I'm going to cut this out, and I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Back in a moment. There we go, there's my phrase, and I cut, it's called fussy cutting. I cut all around it, and I tried to sort of honor the ups and downs in the word amazing. Now, if I attached it to my card front, it would be fine, but it is looking a bit plain. So I have a scrap piece of fresh Freesia lying around, and so I thought, well, this is the perfect opportunity to use it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to bring in my craft sheet so I don't get glue on my grid paper. You don't need a craft sheet, but they're really fun to have if you do a lot of gluing. And then I am going to just add a little bit of glue to the center of the fresh Freesia layer. And then I'm going to lay this down on top like so. And then I'm going to have to let it dry. And once it's dried, then we'll put it over on the card. And I'll show you how we'll do that to make it a little bit more visually appealing. I think it's dry enough now, so I'm going to use some mini Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. Do you need these? No, not necessarily. I think it depends, how much visual interest you want to add to your card. Since clean and simple card ideas tend to be quite flat in nature, but still really pretty, sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of additional visual interest, but your card would be fine if you decide not to use mini Stampin' Dimensionals, and maybe you don't have them yet. So if you would like to learn how to make another clean and simple card, why don't you watch this video next? Now, essentially, the card is finished. I could pop it in an envelope, send it off, and I'd be perfectly happy with it. There is an opportunity to add some embellishments should you have some at home. So let's have a look at that next. For some reason, what's speaking to me are these pearl basic jewels. I think I want just a subtle touch of bling, but not really something that stands out too much, because I have a lot of color and visual interest on my card already. So what I'm going to do is use maybe some larger pearls and maybe some smaller pearls and add those to my card. I don't really want to stick pearls on the center of every flower. I just want enough pearls on here so that they do catch attention. I wonder, maybe I'll put one on either side of my phrase, like so, and then maybe one more. I'm not sure where I want to put it. I think I'll put it. Decisions. I think I will put it, I am not sure. I think I'll put it right there. And there we go. A beautiful card idea, a clean and simple, beautiful card idea. All you need is stamps, ink, and paper to make this card at home. Now, I did promise to show you Serena's card, and here it is here. So you can see she used a different phrase. She also used some really pretty sequins on her card. There's a lot of bling on it. And instead of using a piece of cardstock underneath her phrase, she used a small piece of ribbon. And then, of course, she used a different phrase. But you can see how you can take somebody's idea and then make it your own by adding your own special twist and using colors that really speak to you. Now, if you would like a complete listing of the supplies that I used, and there are not many of them, are there, along with the measurements for the cardstock, I will leave a link to my blog post in the description box under this video. You can link over there and you can see the products I used. I'll also leave the ordering numbers, so in case you want to purchase the products from me to make this card at home. And I have a quick question for you. Would you like to see more clean and simple card ideas? If you would, leave a yes in the comments section underneath this video, and I'll be happy to show you some more ideas. I'm Terry. I'm nuts about stamping. I'll see you at the next video. Bye for now.